To do a dumbbell Romanian deadlift, we have to remember the differences between a deadlift and a squat and a Romanian deadlift. So if we were to squat these dumbbells, it would be a 50% split between our hips and our knees. We would be evenly distributing the load between those two joints. If we were to be doing a normal deadlift, it would be somewhere between a 70 to 80% hip and a 20 to 30% knee. But when we do a Romanian deadlift, it's closer to 90 to 95% hip and 5 to 10% knee. The reason it's not 100% is because if you completely lock the knee joint out, it's not so good for the joint if we're adding an extremely large amount of load. We want some kind of ability for the knee joint to be able to move and adjust as load is going through it. So we want to try and make sure we have an even distribution of weight inside, outside, and heel of both feet so that our brain can concentrate on the movement we're trying to do and not be concerned about maintaining balance. Pick the dumbbells up in whatever way, shape, or form you want. You can pick them up from the bench and take a few steps back, or you can pick them up from the floor like I am doing, like a normal deadlift. Slightly rounded back position, I will admit there. But one of the coaching cues we use is I like to start with just a tiny bit of softness in the knees, and then from there I just try and close a door with my bum. So I'm pushing my bum back as if I'm trying to close my car door. As a result of that, my arms will swing forward in front, but I don't want them to just swing wildly in front of me like this. I am actively trying to depress my shoulder blades most of the time. So I'm trying to pull my shoulders in the direction of my hips. I'm not really trying to retract my shoulder blades, although I am keeping them somewhat neutral. I'm not letting them completely roll forwards, but I'm mainly focusing on pulling them down towards my hips. I go down until I feel a bit of a stretch in my hamstring or my glute tissue, and then as a result of that stretch sensation, I slowly change the direction to come back up towards the top. And finally, when you're coming up towards the top, you just think about pushing your hips through. Don't think about trying to over accentuate the spine situation. Don't be standing and arching your lower back. When you stand up, you want it to be in a neutral spine position. So if you think about just pushing your bum back till you feel stretch in your hamstrings and then pushing your hips forwards until you're stood upright, that's a pretty easy way of just getting the basics. And the other final little nuanced point is you see this little gap between the dumbbells where my hands are. I usually let them kind of follow the contour of my leg. So as I'm at the side here, the dumbbell is sat either side of my thigh. As I hinge forward, it's rolling around the knee. And as it's towards the bottom, you can see here, my shin is actually in the gap between the dumbbells. As I stand up, it comes around the knee, then it comes to my thighs. And it's just an easy way for me to monitor the distance that the dumbbells are moving from my body or moving from the pivot point, which is my hips. So that's something I like to do. Little side note, see if that helps.